Hello and welcome to another post commentary that I did. This is another game that I played on the ladder, and the reason I'm doing a post commentary is also so I can talk a little bit about stuff, and also because, well, I didn't know how the placements are going to go, so I definitely didn't record all of them. So what I said here is true. This player is a master level player, and basically, from my placements and my unranked, I've gotten the impression that the opponent players, at least a lot of them were in plat, and a lot of them brought shame to plat, a lot of them played really well, so my opinion of where I stood, it kind of ranged anywhere between I can casually stroll into Masters and I'll end up in plat, or I'll end in Diamond where I used to be. Especially as my Protoss. I think my Terran might end up in plat because my Terran was always a little bit behind. Now you can see this is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg. I'm going to be playing Protoss, so I will be going to Forge Fast Expand. A couple of things I want to talk about in terms of the ladders. Number one, I made a new thumbnail. I'm really proud of it. Very, very proud of the bronze that I managed to acquire. If you don't know what's happening there, I did rank bronze in Heart of the Swarm, and apparently Blizzard pushing for their new garbage game is of course saying, hey, because it's a new game, no matter how this doesn't reflect your actual play level, we're just gonna stick your fucking matchmaking border on there. So apparently I'm a bronze now, so to actually reflect my I guess the shitty level at Heart of the Swarm, because even when I try, I can't really do much. Now, in terms of the cam, if you go to, actually no, I don't know how to navigate the replay. So over here you can see I scouted. He has a gas and a pool, and when I first went in, he really didn't have that many drones. So I'm thinking, okay, this guy is probably going to be doing a Baneling bust. And that's why I got the wall early. I'm even saving up for the cybernetics core. I got the cannon down as well. Now I'm gonna wall up front with sort of sturdy structures as opposed to pylons, because that'll help against the Baneling bust, and I can always force field if the bob should fall. I'm also saving up because I thought it might be Zergling garbage as well, since early gas also can mean early speed. That's what I was doing. I did not scout this, and it's just by pure coincidence that I saw it. If I didn't, I saw it later. If I did not see it, then I would have probably lost the game. So let's talk a little bit about the ladder system at this point. I will probably not be playing random anymore. I'll probably be picking my race, but I will still be doing all three races. And the reason I say that is many folds. Number one, the most recent, or I guess not even recent anymore, recently discovered by me changes to the ladder is that they do have separate MMRs for all of your races, which means there's really no reason for me to play random anymore. If I can roll my own randoms, then I get the benefit of separate MMRs, so my Terrans won't always be an uphill battle. I can also be, yeah, I think it's by pure coincidence that I saw this. If I go to my camp, yeah, it's just this pylon or the gas geyser, one of the two, saw that. Another thing is I can give myself more control over the random number generator, in that I can, if you remember what I did before, a lot of times I would run into like all night 5 games Protoss or all night 5 games Zerg. I can break the streaks myself by picking something else. And also, if the ladder, say at the current week or month or whatever, is full of Zergs, and you know how much of a shitstorm ZVZ is, then I can choose something other than Zerg. I can choose Terran. My TVZ is pretty good. I can choose Protoss. My PVZ is also pretty good. So it gives you a lot more finer control, and I guess it works better in terms of MMR. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I will still be playing 3 races, but I will not be choosing random. It also gives me a chance to practice the PvZ matchup, because if you think if I play random and I get Zerg, nobody in their right minds are going to Forge Fast Expand against a random, because Terran can do all sorts of shit. Marauders are meant to destroy buildings. Zerg can do, Protoss actually can do a lot of shit as well. If you Forge Fast Expand against a Protoss, they can do a 4-gate with Robo and, well, not Robo, just Robo for the Warp Prism. Now, this kind of caught me off by surprise. You can see I put up 2 cannons to get rid of this hatch, but I did not expect the roaches. And now that I sort of look at it again, this early gas could have been for many things, but roaches, even at this point, I probably wouldn't have expected roaches. Now, the roaches are going to force my dudes off of minerals. I just forgot these two, I think they died, but I did transfer them over. It did delay my mining a little bit, but what I'm thinking right now, hatches down, the queen is probably just going to be able to poop out some creep tumors, and nothing more significant than that. I might be able to transfuse a roach or two, but he has invested heavily into, you know, like not teching. So, or not macroing. So I'm not in a really bad position. If you think about it, he has wasted those minerals on the hatch, which has been cancelled off by these cannons. I needed this pylon anyways. He got the early gas, he got the early pool, and then he got a roach farm because these roaches are in my base. So that's why I continue to play this game. And over here, I just think that since my probe count is good, I can just do this. I'm hurting in the gas, so I won't be able to do my normal attack timing. But that doesn't really matter because I don't need to pressure down any thirds. Even with 2-base Zerg, I'm kind of iffy about attacking with a delayed 4-gate. So that's why I'm still in this game. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And this cannon's also providing protection for the creep tumor. I think I actually left this one here for a long time. So these roaches in the base are not really doing much. Yes, he is transfusing the roaches, but I am getting stalkers right now. I'm a little bit blocked on the gas, but I do have quite a few banked up. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using that gas on the stalkers. I might have been able to cancel one of these and get an earlier +1, but you know, when you're being trashed, it's not something you think about. So he did manage to kill off those 2 poor probes, mining the gas. Let's take a look at units lost. We're up about 5-5. Now with 4 stalkers up, the roaches are not going to be able to do things. Not that the roaches were doing much to begin with. So over there on his cam, I'm surprised that he only has this many workers. If you take a look at units, it's actually 20-20 even. And I feel like the advantage right now goes to me because he's got roaches, and that's about it. At this point, I would probably expect Mutalisks, although he did spend all that gas on roach. So I don't really know what's up with him. I'm still going to do my +1 attack, which at this point, now that I look at it, is probably a really bad idea since he probably will be able to get Mutas out in time to defend. Should I have went through with that, or should he have chosen to do that? So right now I am trying to catch up back in my macro, and you can see over here him hiding a base. I don't know if this is sort of master level play, but I have been seeing a lot of trash lately. I don't know if it is because of my bronze border. I did have a nice chat with this guy after the game, and he did say that he thought I was a noob because of the bronze border. And, you know, my response to that is, I don't know, man. It seems like these days if you have a bronze border, then it attracts trash. If you have a master border, they're just going to be like, hey, I'm not going to be able to beat a master in a real game. I'm going to fucking trash him. And if you know, they're the same league as them, as I've seen before. You just trash because trash shits and giggles. Raffle Lamau, am I right? So I feel like there's just no evading the trash. It's more of a why did I trash? I'm gonna pick up any reason, and since there's so many reasons I can trash, then it's not really hard to come up with a reason to trash. Now I do have 5 gates. It's not conventional. I generally attack with 4, but see, the time is kind of screwed up. This game is kind of in a screwed up state. My +1 isn't done yet, so I'm just gonna say fuck it, 5 gates, because I put down 5 gates. I happen to have it. So right here I'm checking the 3rd. Of course I'm not gonna find anything. I haven't found this base in a while, but over here I'm not exactly expecting him to get a 3rd. I feel like he's taken a lot of losses. He's made a lot of roaches, so maybe he like. My thinking at the time was that he could only afford to produce off of 2 bases, or at least to have 2 bases. And I think I changed my opinion back then once I saw the amount of roaches, thinking that if he didn't do the roaches, then he probably could have had more stuff. So back at home, I am deciding to get the Twilight Council. That's going to help with the upgrades, and that's going to help with the Blink. I do like to go for Blink in PvZ. That's because like Colossus does take a while to get up, and also Blink allows you to keep on the pressure. Blink and also plus attack compared to Zerg's armor on the Bobs. It just allows you to put up a lot of pressure. I of course eventually do get the Colossus in all my PvZs, unless of course it ends before then. But I just like Blink better because it also lets you get this +2, which is really important to keep ahead of the Zerg in terms of upgrades, so your Bobs continue to be effective against Zerglings. From the Zerg's perspective, I used to try to catch up in the armor, but I feel like you just can't win that. Protoss is going to keep on chronoing out their attack upgrades. They're going to be effective with their bobs until, well, you hit 3, basically. So it might not even be worth it to try at that point. I don't know. I'm still trying to learn this game. I'm beginning to see the reasoning behind the trash. So over here you can see sort of a scary roach attack. Production blink is not done, and even after blink is done, I feel like that was not really a bad position for me. It's just I'd never really been in a situation where I have to attack the roaches from multiple sides. So I think a lot of stalkers ran into the roaches to their deaths. It's not really something good, I would say. So you can see I do have all the stalkers on one control group. Probably hurts a little bit. I'm doing my best to keep the stalkers alive. I think I lose one over here. I do blink them in to sort of make use of the cannon. Other than that, just trying to do my best with the blink. That one's probably gonna die as well. No, not managed to save that. You can see the stalkers over here. They're running into the roaches a lot, and that's not really something that's nice to do. So over here, just more blink. I really don't remember how to do the blink properly. You can see more stalkers running into roaches. It's just this is not a very conventional sort of game, sort of a position where the roaches are in the middle and your stalkers are in two fronts. They can't even fit on one screen, so it's very, very hard to control them. You can see the original group of around 10 that I have right now is down to 2. But I do manage to clean up the roaches. These 3 are probably gonna, I did not spread my targeting properly. And I think this one actually runs away. Doesn't really matter. My thought pattern behind this is I managed to clean up his roaches. He probably has gas saved up or something, although he did spend a lot on roaches. So if he did get mutas, it won't be in large enough numbers that the stalkers can't handle. Right now, my main concern is, of course, Zerglings, because I can deal with mutas, I can deal with roaches with some kind of blink. So I did put down 4 bobs. And I think that's the roach that I actually waddled over, and eventually he died. So that happened. And that's why I got the bobs. I still have faith in my +1, although... Nope, no armor. Although he, like from looking at it right now, I would say he definitely had time to catch up in the armor. So bobs, although they're still good against lings, they won't be, small puddle of bob cleaning up an ocean of lings. So at this point, I'm like... He has the spines up. I saw the roaches as well, so that's when I thought maybe he's hiding the expansions. And of course he found this. But I also saw that he has 4 spines, and that's going to be a bitch to break up. So I'm not even going to try. I'm going to do something else. I am working on my upgrades and also Colossus. Also adding on more gates. I think at one point I tried to expand, but he pushed that back. I also got the Immortal, just in case he moves around my units with the roaches. Although at this point, going through a base race against Protoss, I would say it's not a good choice, because I have a lot of warp gates to sort of defend with. So if he moves up, he probably will not be very happy about this. I did see Roach Hydra. Hydras cost a lot more gas than roaches. So that gives me a little bit more safety in that there will not be any more trashing with Garbelisks, which means I'm safe to go for Colossus. If he does go for Garbelisks, I might choose to throw down a Stargate. I might choose to have more Stalkers with Blink, but I have to have some kind of response and not just freely make Colossus. Probably throw down a Templar Archive. Get that Archon, because the Archon, the army, at least it protects your army from the Mutalisks. And over here is saying come out, I wait. It makes me feel a little bit safe, because he's probably a little bit hesitant about moving in as well. And over here I do have double Robo on a Colossus. I have my second one soon, I have my range soon. I have my second Robo, which with enough resources to produce 2 more Colossus. So if he attacks right now, he would have probably done some damage, but I think his window is over. Now that range is done and I have 2 Colossus. So that's why I that's when I took the 3rd. And he managed to break that down, I think, with an attack. I didn't want to reveal the Colossus just yet, because if he can push up with 4 Colossus, then he won't be able to respond in time with Corruptors. He will... Like, the Colossus will be useful for a lot longer. If you think 2 Colossus, then it might not be enough to wipe out his army. So that's why I kept the Colossus hidden. I sacrificed this base. I don't know if I could have saved it even if I tried, but I don't think I managed to get the cancel on that. Losing 400 minerals at this point in the game, yes, it hurts, doesn't really matter. I'm getting mined out though, so probably should look for an expansion soon. Although Protoss, they can max out surprisingly many times on 2 bases. But right now I do have the Colossus counts. I did move my units a little bit over on this side just to take a look to see if he has units in position to sort of do a counterattack. He does try to do cute things with these Zerglings. The what are those things called? The fake dudes. But yeah, so for Colossus moving out, I would expect him to retreat. Now this is a very, very tense situation for Zerg in my opinion, because he needs the gas to produce units. He needs more units as well, and there's 4 Colossus barreling down on him. He needs corruptors, and he also needs more units. So at this point, I'm thinking that this is where I'm strong, so I need to make the push right now. And as you can see over here, the Zerglings die immediately after Stalkers. Trying a little bit to keep them alive with the Blink. The Immortal also putting in work. You see a huge round of Hydras coming out. He's not really using Walk on the Colossus, and the Colossus are surprisingly, you know, still healthy and alive. I did warp in another round of Stalkers, and you can just see how effective Colossus is against like Roach Hydra if you manage to get 4 of them up uncontested. So I'm going to be putting on the hurt here. I still don't want to be moving up here because these spine crawlers will take a while to sort of clean up. So I want to put the pressure on the main. Any units coming down I'll probably be able to kill. I'm thinking if I can get this, and if he does have a base over here and I can take this base, then I'll be in great shape. Meanwhile, he'll probably be saving up getting corruptors or something in his main. So over here, I think I throw down a Templar's Archive. Yes, the Templar Archive as a response to Mass Cure Potters. And still Blink Stalkers. When the enemy unit count is low, I can just pull the Colossus back, hide them somewhere, go Blink Stalkers, go Zealot Archon, go anything of that sort, and hide the Colossus until his Cure Potter count goes down. But apparently this is, we see Ultralisks here, which is supposed to be good against Stalkers and Colossus. So I was fully expecting these to all die, but somehow they lived. I don't think the splash was fully working, but right now I'm a little bit more hesitant about moving out, about taking any more bases, but I did kill all those Ultralisks, which is kind of a huge deal in terms of gas investment. I also managed to take down both of these bases. You can see this one is being remade right now, so I'm believing that I'm in a good position right now. No, I did warp in these Bobs. These Bobs, these are Wings Ultralisks, so the Bobs will be able to tank the Ultralisks for quite a while, since they have they don't have the armored attribute, so Ultralisks actually deal a lot less damage to them. And back in home base, I am making more Immortals just to deal with the Ultralisks. I do have 2 Colossus over here, which brings the total up to 5. 1 did die, and I don't really know where it died. But right now I'm just putting to hurt 3 more Ultralisk spawns, just more gas taken away from anything trashy like Mutalisks. I did manage to get this base up at this point, but I don't think I transferred anytime soon. But yeah, so a lot of Zealots, a lot of Stalkers, just your standard Protoss composition. I feel like there's no reason for me to get into Archons or Storm. If you think about it, Storm is actually more effective if there's a lot of Zerg units, and just based on how many bases I managed to bring down, I imagine that he didn't have that many bases left. I don't know if I saw this base. Bring it to my cam. No, I did not see that base yet, but pretty soon I will be scouting that base. You can see I already have an observer. This observer was sitting here, watching for a counterattack while I took his top base. So right now it's going over here, looking for expansions, and taking that out, because I do have the gaze to spare. Right now I'm more Immortals, and I know he has Ultralisk tech, and I also saw these Ultralisks, so I continue with the Immortal production. Also, Immortals are really, really sturdy. They're really good in low numbers, like low unit count engagements. And you can see just how good these Immortals are. They brought down the Ultralisks really, really quickly. And that's the end of the game. So the reason I showed this is, number 1, to talk about the ladder and what I'm doing, and number 2, it's one of the few non-trash games that I've played during my placements. I'm still not done with them. I will probably show my final games in my placement. You can see the Bob over here working on this shit. But other than the final game, I probably won't show it. And I'll show the final game because I want to show where I placed with all 3 races. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the game. I'll see you guys next time.